Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the City of Glendale's Arts and Culture Commission for May 15th, 2025. May I have roll call, please?
Vice Chair Yang,
Here.
Commissioner Hay, Commissioner Kasumian,
Here.
Commissioner Tyan,
Here.
Commissioner Kazorian,
Here.
the Chairperson Vidor,
Here.
and Commissioner Zadorian is present in the audience. Agenda item 1, the agenda for the May 15th, 2025 regular meeting of the Glendale Arts and Culture Commission was posted on May 9th, 2025 on the bulletin board outside City Hall. Agenda item 2, consent items, minutes of the March 20th, 2025 regular Arts and Culture Commission meeting.
Does anybody have any additions or corrections if you were at the meeting for the minutes? I have one comment. I think I think the one where we were talking about the murals, 7A, the status of citywide murals and the issue of what's going on with the legalities of muralists being contractors and the laws that are being changed right now. Probably change the sentence that reads, "This bill would exempt from the law," to maybe "This bill will exempt artists/muralists from the law," because there's no clarity about who this is impacting. And the whole issue of why the law is being changed is related to muralists. So just that one minor change. Is that okay with everybody?
Notate that, thank you.
Okay. So if there aren't any other things, can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Yeah, I move to approve the minutes with that one change.
And I guess I'm the one who has to second it, so I will do so. Roll call.
Vice Chair Yang,
Yes.
Commissioner Hay, Commissioner Kasumian,
Yes.
and Chairperson Vidor.
Yes.
Agenda item 3, introductions and presentations. Mark Murat Hay, Arts and Culture Commissioner.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Very nice to see you on the same board,
Go.
on the same commission. Should I introduce myself?
Absolutely.
My name is Mark Murad Hay. I have very long education in music and arts. I have a master's degree in musical composition, another master's degree in symphonic orchestra conducting. I have doctorate degree in musicology, and so when I was a kid, I was also singing a lot, composing also for kids, singing in 2 different choirs, playing piano, painting. I was going to different classes for painting and for acting, but I kind of left that because you can't do too many things at the same time. So I kind of concentrated on music and musicology and that part of arts. And I also have another doctorate degree in naturopathy, which is natural healing, natural medicine.
Well,
That's about
very
me.
impressive. Great to have a music specialist with us.
Thank you very much.
Okay. And next is Inessa.
Good morning, everyone. I am very excited to be here. I grew up in Glendale, and I always noticed little bits and pieces of the art around the city, and I always got excited as a young kid, so I never thought one day I'd be sitting here as a member of the commission. I have been a figure skater my whole life, and now I teach little kids how to skate, and it's very much an artistic sport. And I've also worked in the film industry, so I'm very happy to be able to input and do whatever I can to help promote the arts and culture within our city.
Welcome aboard. Great
Thank
to have
you.
you. Okay.
Next is recognition of service. Caroline Tufenkian.
Is Caroline here? Oh,
It doesn't appear that Caroline Tufenkian's here, but we can definitely acknowledge her service, and then we can
okay.
provide her with the plaque after.
So I should proceed. Okay. Well, I will go ahead and share this plaque of recognition that we've had made for Caroline. I don't know if our new commissioners know Caroline or not. You do. She has been a wonderful asset on the Arts and Culture Commission. She's a professional gallerist and knows the art world very, very well, and her comments and insights and support of the commission have been, I think we'd all agree, really appreciated by all of us. I found her very inspiring to work with, and we wish her the best and hope she comes and visit us, and I'd certainly hope to be keeping in touch with her and following what she's doing with her gallery, et cetera, et cetera. So, thank you, Caroline.
Yeah, I'll just say that I had the pleasure of working with Caroline on the Public Art Committee when we were looking at the citywide arts selections. And that was just an incredible process. I really enjoyed working with her, discussing, bringing permanent public artworks to our city and what would make the biggest impact. The artists to work with, I found her insights always really illuminating, and I just appreciate everything that she brought to the commission over the years.
Thanks. And Caroline, if you want to say anything, you're welcome to, not necessary. I just thought I'd offer anybody else a chance to speak, any of you, if you wish. Otherwise, we'll just collectively thank Caroline for her service. Okay.
Okay, next is Library Arts and Culture events presented by Loretta Lopez, Program Coordinator. This May, we pay tribute to the local Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander communities in a celebration of history and culture, and in recognition of the community's struggle for inclusion and equity. Glendale Library Arts and Culture has featured events, children's activities, book lists, and resources for Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. For more information, please visit the link on the screen. Calling all writers, the Glendale Poet Laureate Program invites you on Saturday, May 17th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Glendale Community College's Learning Center for the next installment of our workshop reading series, which also includes the launch of our poetry anthology, Jewel City Review, Volume 2. We'll develop poems and explore craft alongside featured poets Lester Graves Lennon, Priscilla Wathington, and Armine Ignadosian. This workshop is free and open to the public, and all levels of experience and language backgrounds are welcome. For more information and to register, please visit the link on the screen. The Brand Associates Dance Series, curated by acclaimed choreographer, teacher, and producer Jamie Nichols, presents top dance companies from Southern California performing site-specific work in non-traditional performance spaces around Brand Library and Art Center. Volta Collective will be performing this Saturday, May 17th at 5 p.m. Volta Collective fuses physicality, theatricality, and multidisciplinary approaches to performance. The company will perform Loneliness Triptych Excerpt, which explores contemporary isolation through 3 interconnected vignettes. Performances run between 60 to 90 minutes without intermission, and admission is free. For more information, please visit the link on the screen. Protect, Preserve, and Remember by Laura Green is on view at the Adams Square Mini Park gas station. Protect, Preserve, and Remember uses Green's experiences exploring the Southern California region with her family. The inspiration for the installation was imagining the Los Angeles River's journey from mountains to sea. Each side of the cube showcases a different biome that the LA River travels through, such as mountains, woodlands, chaparral, and the coast. This installation will be on view until May 30th. For more information, please visit the link on the screen. Glendale Library Arts and Culture invites you to join a series of virtual author talks in partnership with the Library Speakers Consortium. On Wednesday, June 4th at 11 a.m., join us as Smithsonian scientists highlight information found in the Smithsonian's book, Extinctopedia. Discover what we have lost, what is at risk, and how we can preserve the diversity of our fragile planet. Extinctopedia provides a fascinating catalog of life on Earth and encourages the reader to find ways of preserving this incredible diversity of species, so we may all thrive and live, and life itself can endure on this amazing and beautiful planet. For more information, please visit the link on the screen. Brand Library and Art Center is proud to present Opulent Mobility, curated by founder A. Laura Brody and Anthony Tussler, in collaboration with students from Glendale Unified School District. Founded in 2015, Opulent Mobility has been hosting annual open calls for artwork, which tell stories that humanize, uplift, and celebrate disabled artists and disability art. The exhibition features Southern California-based artists with artworks in a variety of media, including sculpture, painting, video, audio, and fiber. Opulent Mobility will be on view until June 21st. For more information, please visit the link on the screen.
Okay, thank you. That's it, I assume?
Yes.
Okay, so we can go on to the next item.
Chairperson Vidor, if I may we go back to agenda item 3, 3C.
Oh. There she is.
We're going to reinstate agenda item 3C, the recognition of service for Caroline Tufenkian.
Okay, so we're going to replay that right now. So, and if we can we replay it with a photo op, or that's too disruptive? Should we wait, what do you want?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, so this time, you can see it on the recorded version. We already sang your praises once, Caroline, but this is for you today, and we are so grateful for everything you did for the commission and the inspiring and very helpful comments and questions you have asked over the years, and working with you has been just a pleasure. So we wanted to just recognize you, and we're going to miss you. And if anyone has anything else they would like to add here to Caroline, and then we'll get our picture taken with
Yeah.
Caroline. So come on up, Caroline.
Caroline, I just wanted to express how wonderful it was to work with you on the public art selection committee. And just, I just appreciated your comments and discussing art with you and thinking about how we make this amazing impact in the city. And I think as a commissioner, you were always had forefront of mind, how do we make Glendale a center for art and culture for the region? And we saw that in everything that you did. So I just really appreciate the opportunity to work with you on the commission.
Can I say a few words?
Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
Well, it has been an honor and a pleasure, really, working with such an amazing group of talented, professional, and forward-thinking group of commissioners. And we've all gone along so well, always had such great ideas, and it's all come together really nicely. I want to take this opportunity to thank Ara Najarian for appointing me for this position. It's been a great opportunity and a privilege to serve on this commission. And I wanted to also thank Jennifer for everything she's done, because she's amazing and does the work of 10 people. So, did everything that we do very easy. So thank you. Thank you, fellow commissioners. It's been a pleasure. I can't wait to see how much arts grow in Glendale, because it's looking very good.
Yeah, thank you
And
so
I have
much.
a little gift for Jennifer.
Oh.
So thank you.
And then we will all go down to the podium and for the photo op, and commissioners.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Great that Carolyn And we got to connect with Caroline, and now we are on to oral communications, I believe. I don't have any cards.
Yeah, do we keep going now?
Let's wait till Jennifer gets back. Go ahead.
Okay. Agenda item 4, oral communications, there are none. Agenda item 5, written communications, there are none. Agenda item 6, action items, selection of a chairperson to serve an 8-month term beginning May 2025.
I'd like to just thank everybody for their support during the year plus a little bit that I've been the commission chair. It's been an honor and very fascinating and challenging. So if I may.
Just previously, I'm just going to give some context of why we're choosing a chair at this point in the year
Yes,
versus
that's right,
in
because usually
January.
it's in January.
And so in 2024, Jennifer Futomi Jones, Principal Arts and Culture Administrator, in 2024, the City Council decided to revise the appointment process for boards and commissions. Through that process, commissioners were reappointed and newly appointed commissioners. So as of April of 2025, we have a full commission, which has been wonderful. So normally we would choose a new chair and vice chair at the beginning of the year in January, but due to the change in the process of board appointments, we are now choosing a chair for the remainder of the year. So this is the process. We would choose a chair and a vice chair beginning now and would serve an 8-month term. And then in January of 2026, we would start a new term. Just for
year.
context of why we're choosing
For
a
a full
chair.
year, okay. So this is kind of a truncated term. Do we have an order? I would like to make a nomination, but
We would take nominations at this point.
I would like to nominate my colleague Sue Bell Yank to the chairpersonship of the commission.
Yes.
Do you have any other nominations?
Would accept.
Any other nominations? Yes, sometimes we do have to.
Okay. So we can move to approve Commissioner Subel Yank as, we will move and then second now. Move to approve Commissioner Subel Yank as the chairperson. Who's going to move?
I move to second this motion.
Thank you. May we have a second?
Second.
Second. Okay, roll call.
Roll call, Vice Chair Yank,
Yes.
Commissioner Hay,
Yes.
Commissioner Kasumian,
Yes.
and Chairperson Vidor.
Yes.
Congratulations. The seat switch?
Okay. Starts right away.
You can read.
Agenda item 6B, selection of a vice chairperson to serve an 8-month term beginning May 2025.
Similarly, as commissioners, as we stated, we have a truncated term for this year, so the new vice chair would serve an 8-month term, and then we would choose a new chair and vice chair in January of 2026. So we were opening up to nominations.
I'd like to nominate Commissioner Zadorian to be vice chair for this term.
Do we have any other nominations? Okay. We will move to nominate Commissioner Zadorian as vice chair of the commission. Do we have someone to move?
I so move.
Second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Roll call, Commissioner Hay,
Yes.
Commissioner Kasumian,
Yes.
Commissioner Vidor,
Yes.
and Chairperson Yank.
Yes.
Agenda item 6C, selection and appointment of commission members to artist review and selection committees.
As stated before, commissioners, we have had a unique situation where some of our programs have been curated due to the change in the commission chair. So we are currently looking for 2 commissioners to serve on the Beyond the Box Utility Box Mural Program Committee, 1 commission member to serve on the Citywide Public Art Request for Qualifications, 1 commission member to serve on the Creative Crosswalks Committee, and 2 commissioners to serve on the 2028 Olympics Committee. And again, this would be a truncated term of 8 months, and then we would reappoint new commissioners in January of next year. So do we have nominations for the Beyond the Box Utility Box Mural Program?
I nominate Mara Tai for the utility box.
Do we have another nomination? We need 2.
Two nominations. Inessa Kazumian for the utility box
I would also recommend, if the 2 student commissioners, I know you're not voting members, but if you're interested in participating, you're welcome to participate. Do either of you or both of you want to join that committee? As non-voting members, but yes, it would be great to have your feedback. Okay, great. So do we want to do that first motion? Do we have a
Yes.
motion to appoint Commissioner Hay and Commissioner Kasuman to the Beyond the Box Utility Box Mural Art Program, including Commissioner Kazorian and Commissioner Atayan? Do we have someone to move?
program. So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Roll call, Commissioner Hay,
Yes?
Commissioner Kazumian,
Yes?
Commissioner Vidor,
Yes.
and Chairperson Yank.
Yes.
Okay, we will move on to the next committee, well, 2 committees. 1 commissioner to serve on the citywide public art request for qualifications, and 1 to serve on the Creative Crosswalks program.
I'm happy to nominate, can I nominate myself for the RFQ?
Mhm.
I'm happy to serve on that one.
Which one? I'm sorry.
The RFQ for the public arts.
I would also be happy to serve
On the Creative Crosswalks or the public art?
public art.
We would need 1 commissioner to serve. You could do Commissioner Yank for public art, and you would do Creative Crosswalks. We could do that.
Okay,
Okay,
sounds good.
great. So let's include the nomination of Chairperson Yank for the Citywide Public Art Qualifications Committee and Commissioner Kasuman for the Creative Crosswalks Program. Do we have someone to move?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Roll call, Commissioner Hay,
Yes.
Commissioner Kazumian,
Yes?
Commissioner Vidor,
Yes.
and Chairperson Yank.
Yes.
Our last committee is the 2028 Olympics Committee. We would need 2 commissioners to serve on that committee. Do we have any nominations for that?
Love to nominate myself so I can continue with the short amount of time I started on it. So I'd love to continue with that for the rest of the year.
And Commissioner Hay, would you be interested in being on that committee?
Actually, I would definitely nominate Commissioner Kasumian because she's in ice skating. So that's a perfect match for Olympics, you know?
I'd
There's
be happy to.
there's 3 committees that you're
Yes.
on, just making sure that
Yeah,
that's okay
and-
with you.
And I would love to also consider for that a student commission,
Yes.
one of the 2.
Can I be
Yes.
part of that?
Absolutely, we can have both if you're interested.
Yes.
Yes.
Got a team.
Okay. So we are going to appoint Commissioner Vidor and Commissioner Kasuman, and in addition to Commissioner Kazorian and Commissioner Atayan for the 2028 Olympics Committee. Do we have someone to move?
Can I move? No? No, I can't.
Can I move?
Yes.
I move. Second that.
Okay, second.
Second? Okay.
Second.
Roll call?
Roll call, Commissioner Hay,
Yes.
Commissioner Kazumian,
Yes.
Commissioner Vidor,
Yes.
and Chairperson Yank.
Yes.
Okay, agenda item 60, Alex Theater's 100th birthday celebration.
Excuse me, one moment. Is there not a nomination for the music series selection?
Due to the truncated 8-month period, those programs have already been curated and programmed.
Oh.
Be the
So we
next
would
year.
reappoint those in January
got
of
it.
26.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So agenda item 60, Alex Theater's 100th birthday celebration. Motion recommending that the city council approve the funding of performances and film screenings as part of the Alex Theater's 100th birthday celebration at the Alex Theater in an amount not to exceed $120,000 dispersed from the 2024 to 2025 work plan. And 2, motion appointing 1 commission member to serve on the Alex Theater's 100th birthday celebration advisory committee beginning May 2025.
Hello, everyone. It's amazing, I think, that this is my first time here with you all in the Arts Commission. I think that I've heard that maybe from a few different community leaders. I'm glad I'm here today, and I'm glad that you guys have offered me a chance to present this idea of what we can produce for the Alex 100 birthday, which is coming up soon in the fall. So again, thanks for everything. I kind of feel like I need to introduce myself a little. We are the operating company of the Alex Theater, and I founded the original company way back in 2001. And we took over in November 21 after the pandemic had our entire industry shut down for a couple of years, and the city was looking for a new operator, and I was, I don't know, I guess overjoyed to find out that we were going to be here. It's turned out even better than what I expected. My background is in venue management. I have 34 years in my professional career. This is my 6th theater and my 4th historic theater that I've been involved in managing. Let's see. Yeah, that's enough about me, I think. You guys mostly know. So most of my work at the theater is in booking the shows and managing the staff. We have we're kind of a mission-driven company when it comes to the Alex, and we feel like the theater is so special to the community that it's different than all the other venues that I've ever been involved in a really significant way. And so it's been great becoming part of the community here for us, and we think of ourselves as being in service to the community of Glendale in what we're programming and our goals, and especially in this. The reason, well, obviously the 100th birthday, it's a kind of milestone that, you know, can use, I don't know, something memorable, something that's for everyone, something that's long term. You know, we do shows all the time. We average about 100 a year, so it's really a busy season of shows. But for this one, I did not want to just put out there, hey, let's do a show on the birthday or maybe the birthday weekend. So we came up with this bigger idea that cost a lot more money to do. So that's why we're here. Let's see. Some of the sponsorship benefits would be that the Arts Commission logo would be included on everything. We would have a link on the main landing page. We're going to develop a pretty extensive part of our website just for this series of shows. And in that link, you guys could also, if whatever, it can lead to wherever it is in your online presence that you want to talk about the theater, the history. We can help you guys with that. Did I really not turn this off? Sorry, guys. We can help with the history if you need that. There is a wonderful historian at the library that we've talked to who has so many archives of the theater. It's been kind of amazing. And then we are developing a season-long program that we could feature the commission and what you're doing as far as an article in the program as well. So those are some of the benefits. This is just a mock-up of what a poster might look like with the commission logo. Okay. So as far as why, as far as the program, you can go to the next one. The first thing that we're working on is the actual weekend of September 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th to present a few different things that launch the series, launch the season. And the first is a gala on the 4th, which is the actually birthday. And that would be, we see that as a private city officials, community leaders, arts leaders, invited sort of event that would include a sneak preview of the dress rehearsal of the show that we're doing the next 2 days, which is the One World Story, which I'll introduce that in a little bit. But so that gala would be planned by the committee that we're talking about putting together. So the committee role, I guess it's further down the road when I talk about it, but I can go right now. The structure of the committee is to kind of ensure the celebration's meaningful, inclusive, well curated. We have several members, including Armin from the Film Society, Anahid from Reflex Space that we've already talked to about being on the committee to help with this. And would obviously want one of you to be on the committee as well to help guide the whole process of presenting this season. After the birthday gala, the show, One World Story, would be 2 nights. And if you can pause. I'll read a little introduction to Vig Zartman, who's the composer. He's a highly acclaimed composer with numerous awards and visions, and draws inspiration from legendary expressions and historic events to bring to life the epic masterpiece, One World Story. It is the grand opening of that. It's the premiere, and it includes some of these performers. You can kind of maybe just, which are incredibly well known, both in Armenia and here. In recognition of his outstanding achievements, he has received the diploma of the Ministry of Culture in Armenia. In 2016, Vig was also honored with the Komitas Medal of Honor by the Ministry of Diaspora of the Republic of Armenia. Recognized nationally and internationally, he is now here in Glendale and collaborates with major Hollywood film and TV studios, doing a variety of different compositions. So we've been in conversation for the last few months about developing this premiere as part of the live event that would feature a orchestra, choir, multiple instrumentalists, multiple singers, all of note, and drummers. There's even dance components with some of our local studios, the Character Dance Studio, the Hollywood Ballet, and it's just this massive, amazing show that is kind of the centerpiece of the live portion. The second part, which is something that came to me because of the Century film series, came to me because almost everyone I meet out in front of the theater that's at least my age tells me that they used to come to the theater to watch movies. So it had this long, kind of place in people's minds. Oh, I came here when I was a child. I came and saw this, because over the many years, the Alex has had a lot of different types of programming. So in coordination with both the Alex Film Society, the Alex Film Society is sort of a long-standing programmer of film screenings at the Alex, and includes members who actually were instrumental in sort of the saving of the Alex Theater back in the 90s. And that historical piece of it is something that we want to invite them to be a big part of what we're doing. We've been in conversation about the films as well. So as everyone had this, as so many people have this idea of film screenings and would like to see it continue, we think that with the launch of the Century film series, we can actually grow an audience and keep presenting film screenings of note into the ongoing future, which is one of the goals of this, because it's definitely something that will take a lot of energy to get audiences back to the theater to see classic films. So anyways, the first one, which is the opening weekend, is the Phantom of the Opera from 1925. It's actually its 100th anniversary and birthday that same weekend. And it's a silent film, everything one in the 20s was. And it would be accompanied by a live orchestra with the original score and taking the cues from it. The grandson of the star, Lon Chaney, his name's Ron. He actually would be the host, and he comes in costume, and it's like we'll have some activations in the courtyard and in the lobbies because he has a museum's worth of 1920s artifacts from this film. So it'll be a really cool event, and that'll happen that opening weekend as well. The idea with the Century of Films is that It is 3 films from each decade that the Alex has been around. So it goes from 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and on to today. So you can just scroll through some of these. You know, it's everything from the 40s we're going to do on Halloween, Alice in Wonderland. Most of you probably know that Walt Disney screened some of his earliest things at the Alex, and so that's a great part of our history. So we have a few different Disney films here. We are planning a 12 noon, 4 p.m., and 8 p.m. showtimes, with the noon showtimes all being family friendly, pretty much animated. And selected these films as a place to start with, along with a couple of the community members that are involved with Alex Film Society and also the Armenian Film Society. And we don't have all these licenses done yet. I had to do a lot to get where we are today, but until we have funding, I can't make offers, I can't license everything and get ready. So I'm glad that we're kind of getting this done soon, because we need to get these on the calendar and on sale and everything, you know, before we get to summer. So let's see. There's a little bit more. I was gonna ask, do you guys, are you okay with doing questions as it comes? Do you have some things about that first part? Because I've been up here a long time already. So you do, I'm sure.
Well,
So,
do you
yeah.
want to do it that way? Is that
I mean, I
okay
have 3 or 4
to
more
intersperse
things.
questions in between his comments, or would you like to save it for the end, Jennifer?
Well, I think Miles, Mr. Williams is pretty much finished with his actual presentation,
Yeah.
right? So we can actually transition now to questions. This is a good point.
Sure.
Sorry, I just wondered.
Okay, yeah, let's open it up for questions. Start with Commissioner Hay.
I honestly don't have any questions because I'm familiar with most of what you said,
Oh.
and I support you.
Oh, thanks.
Commissioner Kasumian.
I absolutely love this plan. Growing up in Glendale, the Alex has been such a staple in my life in particular, whether I was going at age 5, 10, 15, and as an adult. So I'm wondering if all these plans will include any of the younger members of the community that are actually in elementary school and middle school and high school, the ones that are going to be inspired by being at the Alex, who will end up grow up and end up being the people that actually continue to make sure
Sure.
the Alex is long-standing.
Sure. Sure, if I can comment. It's a great idea. Of course, that matters a lot. Part of our programming now that we see children at a lot are dance shows. And I have grown the amount of dance shows dramatically. Most of it's because the kids are taking dance. And so they want to come, and they always end up doing pirouettes in the courtyard on their way out as they're smiling. I think we can do a component. I have, for the films, I do have a family one, each one. And we have 11 days of this over the few months of the whole series. But I think that we could potentially include for some of the live shows that we're going to add, which I didn't say that yet, but we're hoping to add some more live shows once we actually know that we have a budget for it, that we could add some bust-in kids. And because that's how I got to know theater too when I was a child. I remember getting bussed in and seeing like the timpani. I was barely taller than them on stage. So yeah, I think that's a great idea. We can certainly include that. I have no trouble with that at all.
Because I know Mark Keppel is a performing arts school. So if the commission, or I don't know who would be the person to approve having members of the district bringing their kids to perform on stage or see the show.
Okay.
I don't know. I just wanted to put that out there, maybe to give the kids an opportunity, even the kids that are not are underprivileged from underprivileged families, to have the opportunity to come and see the Alex,
Sure.
regardless of whether they're able to or not.
Sure. Okay. Somebody put me in touch or send me the contact and I'll follow up. No problem.
I think that's a great recommendation, and this commission doesn't have jurisdiction of GUSD, but we can definitely connect Miles with
Sure.
GUSD in the context for that opportunity.
Yeah, we've done a couple shows with the college where we got Arts at the Alex, which we hosted and sponsored, and where their arts departments came over, but not the younger kids in the community yet. So good idea.
Great. Commissioner Vidor.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. It sounds great.
It does, right?
And I love your ideas too. I think it's important to actually involve the community, not just invite them to observe, but have them be involved. I have some kind of mundane administrative questions. We've got $120,000 in consideration here. I'm curious to know if you have anything resembling a final or budget for the entire operation at this
Four
point.
times that.
4 times that?
Yeah.
Only 4 times that? Wow.
Probably 4 times that is the number I'm
Okay.
running with right now.
So we're not
Part of
even-
it will depend on if there is maybe next fiscal year and additional funds, then we can add some more shows based upon that. There's, if I may, there's
Yes, please.
different, the different revenue that will support this is both the commission sponsorship and of course ticket sales. And,
Ticket sales,
yeah, and ticket sales. The film series in particular will be running upside down, I can imagine, because of the fact that ticket prices are very low for films, and because we're intending on having some extra components every day. So maybe as we're going through the years, one of the things we might activate is a small jazz band in the corner playing music of the era, and then maybe they turn into a disco band, in the courtyard. Before, as people are coming in for the day, we're thinking of it as a film festival kind of day, because it lasts all day long. So some of those expenses we'll get to. I did not do a full budget for the whole thing yet, because I do hope we can add more live shows to it, because we have the one, and that show itself is probably going to cost us almost $200,000 to produce.
So you said about 4 times this, so you're looking at roughly more or less between $500,000 and maybe upward of $1 million?
Upward of $1 million to produce the
okay.
whole thing, yeah.
Yeah,
And so the ticket
what I-
revenue has to cover the rest of it. But that's
Yeah.
why we have a request for more than the 120 that you're looking at this year in our proposal.
right. So your company, which is SAS, right?
We changed our name.
Oh.
It's now called the Even Song.
Oh, okay. You're a for-profit or a 501c3? I can't remember.
For profit.
You're a for-profit.
Yeah.
So, this being a big thing in the community, I would imagine, or, usually for something this grand and inclusive, big money givers and philanthropists and people, there likes to be a list of people who supported it individually. So is that in the plan to
Yeah.
seek funds from the community, and who would be the receiver of those funds?
So I have a long-term plan around this. Thanks for letting me talk about it. So it's called the Patron Program, and it's not the same as membership, but it is based on community members who want to get more involved in supporting the vision that we have and our mission.
So it's a nonprofit arm of your?
No, the funds from that would go into a program fund that we would use year after year for programming just like this. Because the Alex, what we inherited with the Alex was a rental model where we're not presenting shows, we're not producing seasons, and we would like to change that. We would like to have this first 100-year celebration season, we can actually parlay into the next year having another season, the next year having another season, based upon the resources that we're going to be putting into this first one.
So is this thing, it sounds great, is this thing you're talking about going to be in effect for the 100th anniversary?
The patron program?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're hoping to launch it. I'm considering launching it along with the actual season announcement, but I'm also considering maybe on that night of the gala being the night that we launch this program. So, but being a nonprofit, we aren't really planning on that program becoming a central source of funding. Like most nonprofits need those folks to do that. Mostly, the program is designed to allow the community to feel more a part of our mission. And we're going to plan on having open houses once a month on sort of like a patron gathering, people who are part of the program to come on Monday night and get a backstage tour, behind the scenes, do Q&As.
You're still talking about the 100th anniversary?
I'm talking about the patron program that I was just bringing up.
So
Yeah.
on the anniversary, how many sponsors, like what kind of sponsorship are you looking for? Is it, I mean, obviously, we're in as a city
Right.
entity, and I'm sure from the general fund, you're going to maybe be getting money as well, no?
Absolutely not, yeah.
No?
The
No
general
general
fund is
fund
never,
money?
doesn't pay us to do what we do.
Okay.
We're
Well, we-
responsible for profitability on our
Okay,
own.
because you're for-profit.
Yeah.
So I think in our budget for this coming fiscal year, we already have $120,000 allocated. So that plus this would be 240. So what is the other 120 being used for?
So the budget that I put together in the proposal does spell out what the funds would go for primarily. And I had 120 for the film series and another 120 for live concert series.
Okay,
So the one concert that we're committed to doing, that I'm committed to doing, whether or not you guys sponsor, is the One World show. So that is a centerpiece and is going to be one of the most amazing shows the Alex has
you're
done.
talking about the 100th anniversary, $120,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the second part would be to expand upon the programming so that we would be able to add more live concert shows and be able to support them. So that would be what the second part would be for. Yeah.
I guess, I think having a really diverse, in all aspects of diversity, programming is great. The Alex is a national landmark. It's an important building culturally in the United States as well as in the state and here. And are we planning any kind of an event or presentation or anything related to the history, development, and the actual saving of the Alex, which, as you know, almost hit the wrecking ball at
Sure.
one point. So will there be some narrative about that? Are you involving the Historical Society?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
So there
no,
are other
I-
cultural partners.
Sure.
or
We have contacted the Historical Society, and
Oh,
they're
great,
excited to be a part of this as well.
Right.
I do know what happened. I'm well versed in what makes historic theaters thrive and what makes them be torn down or turned into an Apple store. We lost one in downtown that turned into an Apple store. So the history wall that is inside the Alex, it's a good reminder that of the trials and errors of things. The bottom part of the wall has actually my like sort of lineage of the directors in the past who created this and created that and kept good business going. Because without either significant public funding, either from municipality, university, foundations like the Wallace in Beverly Hills, venues have a hard time making ends meet. The model that we've brought as a commercial venture has worked for me in multiple venues. And so we're confident that it can continue. But the story of it almost being, torn down or closed really is about making sure that it stays in business, that it's relevant, that it is still programming and active. And with that, you need, this kind of support helps with that in a lot of ways. The PR around this is going to be really large. I'm hopefully going to get the city to send every resident the kind of season brochure of what we're doing so that they all get that in the mail. And that's something that's a little old school, but then so am I. And, so yes, I think that we have an opportunity for a bit of a rebirth to make sure that not only are we celebrating the 100 years, but ensuring that the next 100 years can be assured. Sure.
I have a question. Is the Alex able to host production, like Broadway-style productions?
As
where
far
we can
as-
attract major productions like Phantom of the Opera is a big major production. I know it's coming to the Pantages soon.
Sure.
So is it able to be a host to productions like this?
It's certainly capable of hosting large Broadway-type productions, yes. I can talk about the whole thing with the Pantages if you want to hear some more about
I'm
how
just saying
that
it'd
works.
be nice to
but-
invite, or I don't know how we could put Alex on the map to major productions like that to bring him to Glendale, and maybe it'll help keep
Well-
Alex alive that way as well.
Sure. I mean, I'm usually in the room to tell the truth about things. So the Nederlander organization who owns the Pantages and operates it, I've worked with them many times. And it makes no business sense for them to come to Glendale right now because they are just trying to keep their own venue, which means they have all their own money, profitable. I am looking at, in the future, it wouldn't be part of this season, it would be a subsequent season, at bringing musicals and partnering with a producer. There's 2 different producers I'm looking for to perhaps enter those types of shows into what we do. They're just more risky. They cost a lot more. The cast is huge, all this and that. And but I am hoping to do that because it is in my history, and I do miss those kinds of shows. But yeah, Nederlander isn't going to come over to the Alex. I'm sorry about that.
We have one more question.
Okay, I'd like to give the student commissioners a chance. Commissioner Kazorian.
I had a question. I wanted to know if you are doing like advertising only in Glendale, because since this is a big budget thing and you want a lot of people from different communities also to be part of it. Are you guys just doing advertising in Glendale? Are you reaching other like art related like cities like Pasadena, Tahunga, neighboring cities? Is that
Sure.
something that you're doing?
Great question. Absolutely. Our advertising for this will be like kind of all over Los Angeles. The publicity part will be on KTLA and some of the larger stations. We do have a pending media partnership with KPCC LA East, which is the NPR station, and they will be coming in as a media partner to promote the entire series of the Century series and the Alex 100, and that's clearly getting to a lot of people. And then our social media reaches, when we do those sort of ad buys, yeah, it's definitely not just Glendale. It's all the region where it's the east side, right?
To quickly comment on Commissioner Kazorian's point, we do have the ACE agency that the commission has hired as our marketing and PR firm, and if the commission were to be a sponsor of this, of course, we would utilize the ACE agency's contacts to spread the word about the series and the opportunities that the Alex is presenting.
Sure. In the proposal, I did ask for help for PR from the commission and or the city because it's just less money we have to spend outside. So.
Commissioner Etienne.
Yeah, I think this has great potential to be something that brings a lot of attraction to Glendale and the film community as a whole. As a film student myself, I think this is really good for high school students like me. I think, like Commissioner Kasumian said, we should open this up to like volunteering opportunities because the Armenian Film Society Festival also has high school students volunteer. So this could be a really good opportunity for high school students to get involved in film and volunteer for the community.
Sounds great. Like that idea too. You guys are full of good ideas. I like that.
Did you have?
Yeah, just a couple quick questions. Do you ever get involved with the Conservancy's last remaining seats program, film-wise?
So that was actually, I got started with the Conservancy in the mid-1990s in coordinating that series with them and the downtown venues that we were primarily at. Once we opened the Orpheum Theater in 2001, that seat that I held as far as coordination went to Bud Coffey, who's a wonderful, wonderful gentleman who sort of shepherded it in that after I had to move on. So are you thinking maybe we should have a Conservancy screening as part of this?
Well, if the time, I know that's a seasonal thing with them.
For sure.
And it just popped into my mind because every time I go to their screenings, they're packed.
They're very good at
some of the
marketing
most
their shows.
uncomfortable historic theaters imaginable. So
Sure.
I
They have 30 years, maybe 40 years
yeah.
of that series. So
Yeah.
their email list is probably 400,000.
And the
people.
Alex has been in it before, as
Sure.
you know. So
Sure.
okay.
Yeah.
And then the other question was, which goes back to the sponsorship thing, and maybe you've already answered this, is I guess I was envisioning a sponsorship deck for something this big, like a, pardon the cliche-ish level names, but like gold, silver, like people giving X or organizations X, 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 you know.
Sure, the patron program does include that.
It will include a deck.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
great.
It
Thank
will
you.
include that, for
That's
sure.
cool. Good. Okay, I'm done.
Okay.
I apologize that I didn't have that ready, actually. I've never asked for money from anyone. I only give it and make it. So it's not something that I've ever had to get
Oh.
support like this for, so it's my first time.
With the program.
So,
So I really appreciate your thoughts about sustainability. I mean, this seems like a really wonderful opportunity for the commission to invest in the Alex Theater, but I don't think it would be something we'd want to do, you know, like every single year at the same level, but doing an initial investment and then having that kind of seed this program that you're talking about, where more funds and resources can be gathered from patrons, from potential sponsors. I mean, I am really, yeah, I'm excited to hear you talk about that program, and I hope that that's something that can then lead to sustainable seasons of programming further down the line.
sure.
The other thing, that's just a comment. The other thing I was thinking about in terms of some of my fellow commissioners' suggestions were, I wonder if there is some kind of discount on tickets for people who are in GUSD or something, like an incentive structure for Glendale residents, for especially Glendale students, to be able to participate at a full level in this, especially since we're considering such a large, infusion into
Sure.
this program.
Sure. The Century Film Series will absolutely have children's price tickets so that a family can come and not break the bank. I mean, that film series is probably the most would be maybe $30, so sort of like going to a fancy movie theater. But the children's tickets will be very affordable, less than half that. So we do have that built into our idea because that's good for everyone. It's a win-win all around. So sure, absolutely.
Okay. I think that's all my questions. Anything else?
Will there be concessions?
We actually are doing a dramatic renovation on our concessions this summer. So I'm really excited for everybody to see it eventually because we have a large list of improvements that are funded by the general fund for the building and for the equipment in it. And the concessions was one that we had allocated a good amount because it's not great the way it is, but it will be by the end of the summer by the launch of this. So yeah, so that's exciting actually.
Can I make a special request to include
Please.
some healthy concessions?
Inessa, I'm all over that. It's already part of it. Yeah. We'll have some fresh fruit like apples and oranges and bananas, and it's a very different idea. Yeah, thanks.
But some unhealthy?
Well, we'll have some of that too.
I'm kidding.
Right. Well, if
We have two motions. Should we do the first motion?
let's do the first motion. And just to clarify, Jennifer, is this the 120 that had been allocated, or is this additional?
This is additional to Commissioner Vidor's point. This is an additional.
it would be a 240
A total of
total.
240. Mhm.
Got it. Okay. Right.
Do we have a motion
Do
to
we have a
move?
motion?
I'd like to move to approve the budget of $240,000, or should I say 120?
This is included as 120 because it was already approved as the
Rather, is
fiscal
there
for
120,
25, 26.
To support the Alex Theater's 100th anniversary.
Have a second?
I second.
Okay, roll call.
Should be a recommendation to council.
Yeah, that's what it includes in the motion. It's a recommendation for council to approve the sponsorship. Mhm.
Okay.
So moved.
So we have roll call.
Roll call,
call.
Commissioner Hay,
Yes.
Commissioner Kazumian,
Yes.
Commissioner Vidor,
Yes.
and Chairperson Yang.
Yes.
Shall we move to the second motion, which is to appoint one commissioner to the Alex Theater's 100th Birthday Celebration Advisory Committee? Do we have nominations?
I can nominate.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say I'd be happy to do it.
I'd also like to nominate Monotai since he's pretty active in live production and is already so connected with the Alex. But
We'd be happy to have as many.
Is it
As you would
possible to
like.
have two? commissioners?
So we can appoint, it sounds like we can appoint 2 commissioners if Commissioner Marahai is interested.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
I think because there's both historical knowledge and music knowledge, that it's good to have both on there. It would bring a lot of interesting knowledge to the committee.
Especially since it's the 100th year anniversary. Why not?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Do we have a motion to appoint Commissioner Vidor and Commissioner High?
You can move.
I do make a motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Roll call, Commissioner Hay,
Yes.
Commissioner Kuzumian,
Yes.
Commissioner Vidor,
Yes.
and Chairperson Yank.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Congratulations.
Thank you very
guys.
much.
Early to say happy birthday, Alex.
Never to.
Agenda item 7A, discussion items, Glendale Arts and Entertainment District improvements on Artsock Avenue project update.
Commissioners, we'd like to introduce Armin Avazian, who's the principal civil engineer, and he's going to provide an update on the Artsock Arts and Entertainment District.
Thank you, Jennifer. Good morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners. Armin Avazian, Public Works Engineering. I'm here to give you the latest updates about Glendale Arts and Entertainment District improvements on Artsock Avenue. Unfortunately, my presentation is not as entertaining and exciting like the Alex Theater, but we are hopeful that by the time we finish the development on the project, complete the project, it's going to be an interesting venue for our locals to use for arts and entertainment. Public Works Department staff been tirelessly working on this project for the past couple of years to move it off the ground. A little bit history about this project. In June 2023, we advertised the project for construction. After extending the bidding times, we didn't receive any bids from the contractors at that time. We went back to drafting board, talked to our consultants, talked to a few of the contractors that we knew they were working on similar projects. We talked to our colleagues at the city attorney office. We changed our specifications, made some of the requirements easier so we can have contractors with certain licenses and experience be also qualified for these projects. Well, earlier this year, we opened the bids. One of the contractors were not qualified. The other 2 were higher than our cost estimate. On May 6, 2 weeks ago, we went to the city council to get a permission to begin negotiation with the contractors that we have on board. Those after we complete the negotiations and we figure out what's our total project cost, we're going to go to the city council to get a resolution of appropriation to fund the remaining of the project. Depending on if everything moves as smoothly as possible, that we hope it will, by end of this year, early next year, we will be breaking the ground for the project. And I'm here to answer any questions you have.
Do we have any questions from commissioners? Commissioner? No? Okay. Commissioner Vidor or Kuzumian? You're first if you'd like to.
I'm surprised that there wasn't that much bidding. I would assume that people would jump on the opportunity to revamp Artsakh Street, but that's all. It's a comment.
Commissioner Vidor?
That, this commissioner is new and didn't hear the original update, so maybe you could elaborate a little bit on why, that it wasn't an issue of not being interested. There were some technical issues. I'm sorry. Because you're new on the commission, you haven't heard the original update, so I was wondering if you could maybe elaborate a little.
This project is a very unique instance of public works projects. We talked to the contractors, to the architects, to the consultants that we have to bring on board to help us manage the projects. Everybody agrees This is a public works project that's a park. It's kind of a hybrid of a parks and street improvement project. And there are not a lot of contractors expert in this field that they are interested in bidding on these projects. Aside from that, the uniqueness, some of the requirements that we had because we wanted to have the street open for the businesses, for the public during certain times, and restrictions for the work hours, it made kind of not too entertaining for the contractors to bid on this project. We try to go back, make some of our requirements easier, some of our licensing requirements easier, and now we have 2 contractors that will be negotiating with them.
Any other commissions, comments?
I have a question. Will this then be a one-way street?
Yes.
Will that not bother the parking structure next to it?
No.
No? Okay.
The plan for this project is to be one way from north to south between Lewis, Broadway, and Harvard. The reason we made it one way is to, in fact, maintain the access to the parking structures.
Did you have a?
Yeah. As you know, we have 2 pending public art projects that were going to be placed on ArtSoc. One was Bountiful, which was a large tree that had some cultural thematic relevance, and I think that was going near the parking lot. And then Tamat Gohar, which is a very large reflective flower. And so those projects are not yet approved by City Council.
Those projects have been approved by City
They have
Council.
been approved by City Council, but I don't believe the contracts have been finalized yet. And, you know, the logistics of placing those is, of course, totally dependent on how the project comes out. So, and we can't jump too far ahead. You know, if we're going to, like, commission a project, it has to be done timely, because otherwise the prices will go up and it's just not logistically going to work out. So what would you say is the roughest close time estimate you could give us of when we'll know the feasibility and placement of those 2 pieces?
We are looking into next few weeks to finalize our negotiations with the contractors. And once we have everything in line, we have to go to the City Council to get their approval to fund the remaining that we need, the money that we need for this project. And then from there, execute a contract for the construction, execute a contract for a consultant that's gonna oversee the project, manage, and do the QA/QC work. And at the same time, execute a contract with those artists. The timeline I'm looking at would be next 3 to 4 months.
So in 3 to 4 months, we should have a better feel of how to move forward with these 2 art projects. Okay, thank you.
I don't have any questions, but thank you very much for the presentation. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming.
Have a good day.
Agenda item 7B, 2024 to 2025 work plan progress updates.
Do you want to provide your update?
Oh, sure. One of the updates that was included in the packet was last month I had the opportunity to go to Sacramento for Arts Advocacy Day and meet with Assemblymember Schultz to talk about SB 456. And I just want to share that that went very well, and it was my first time doing it, so it turned out to be a really great experience. I really enjoyed it, and if another opportunity arises where I would be able to do so, or Jennifer, both of us, I'd be really grateful to do it. But it was really great to just go to the Capitol and meet other people who are also advocating for the arts, and yeah, it was really great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for doing that. It's wonderful.
The other update that we have, commissioners, if you can pull up Exhibit A, which is part of 7C, I wanted to provide an update because, of course, we have 2 new commissioners on our commission, but also to provide an update on our citywide public art installations. So as you know, we've been working with LaBasse Projects, which is our public art consultant since 2021. And can you close the left side? There we go. Thank you. And Chairperson Vidor, when you were chair, thank you so much for recommending that we create this sheet. I think it's a great idea to keep us apprised in all of our projects that we've been working on. So this is a sheet that includes all of the public art installations that we've been working on. And I'll just go down the sheet to provide updates on all of them. As part of our agreement with LaBasse Projects, they were to work with us to commission and curate up to 9 pieces. So included on these are the 9 pieces. So the first project is Color Everywhere by Aaron Miller Ray, and this is located at Verdugo Park. This was installed and completed as of November of 2023. The next project, we have Hahamanga by Forma Studio, and this is located on the Glen Oaks Boulevard median between Brand Boulevard and Central Avenue. City Council approved. We have contracted with the artist, and they are in the process of fabrication. So we're very close to getting to that timeline. The estimated completion is fall of this year or winter of 2026. So we're very much on target towards the installation of that project. Next, we have the Fremont Park columns tile artwork belonging by Kara Lynch. This was approved by City Council. We are literally in the process of routing that agreement with the artists. We're very close. We're hoping that the contract will be completed in May of 2025 with an estimated installation of winter or spring of 2026. So very shortly after the park is opened. Next, we have the Montrose Circular Benches, Our Garden Spot by Cacharico. Similarly, with Kara Lynch's, we are literally in the process of routing the agreements. The Adobe sign is routing as we speak, and that is estimated to be completed sometime in the summer or fall of 2026. Next. The next project that we have is the Palmer Park Basketball Court mural. This is the design basketball by Tanner Goldbeck, which was approved by City Council on February 11, 2025. We are in the process of contracting with the artist, and we're hoping to install this piece by fall of 2026. The next item that we have is the commissioning of a mural by Shepard Ferry. We have been in the process of working with his studio. Unfortunately, he's been very busy, so we haven't been able to receive an actual mural design for the commission's review, but we're hoping to get that in the next few months. So that'll be, of course, reviewed by the commission and approved by City Council. Similarly, with this update, as you all know, we've been working on a mural ordinance since, I believe, 2021. And we have gone through all the processes. We're very close to drafting it. And then, of course, you know, SB 456 had come up with the issue of muralists being exempt for installation of murals on public property. So once we have an update on SB 456, we're hoping to launch our mural ordinance, ideally by the fall of this year, if not early 2026. So that is en route as well. The next item that we have that we're planning to install is the Central Park ground level artwork, which is Reality Series by Gegam Abrahamian. And that was approved by City Council in fall of 2023. Literally this month on May 9th, City Council approved the Central Park plans, and they're planning to go to bid for construction. So we have an update, at least, on that project. Similarly with the ArtSoc project, once the construction bids have been approved and negotiated, then we can go to contract with the artist. But that's why we have not gone to contract with the artist thus far. The next two items, Bountiful by Matthew Metzada, which is what Commissioner Vidor had mentioned, and Tamit Gohar by Forma Studio are the two artworks that are located on ArtSoc Avenue as part of that project. As you just heard, we have the update. Hopefully we can potentially go to contract with those artists in the next year or so. So that is tentatively on hold. We also have an update on the 134 Patterson Avenue pedestrian tunnel portal by Studio Lachlan Turkson and Studio Monroe Eisenberg. We did reach out to Caltrans regarding this proposed artwork, and unfortunately Caltrans has denied the design due to the light installation and its potential effects of safety, particularly in this tunnel. We are looking at different opportunities for this tunnel, but unfortunately this design has not been approved by Caltrans. So we're going to revisit with LaBasse Projects to determine what can we do with this particular project and or their recommendation on how we can reutilize those funds for a potential alternative public art project in lieu of that. We have been in conversation with JPL Studio from the Blended Worlds exhibit. They have a beautiful artwork called Orbit Pavilion that they originally launched at the Huntington Library. Hopefully we can get this, again, it's aspirational as included on this list. It would be a fantastic addition to the city's public art projects if we're able to do it. But again, hopefully we can get that launched ideally by spring of 2028. And we also have discussed a spectacular light exhibition or some type of light exhibition to be in tandem, of course, with the launch of the Olympics in 2028. So those are the public art projects and the updates for those particular projects, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you have for any of the artworks.
Yep, we can open it up to commissioner questions. Commissioner Hay, do you have any questions?
Well, there are a couple things that I wouldn't vote yes if I was on the commission, but they're already approved for the upcoming ones. I don't have any questions yet.
Commissioner Kasumian?
Is there a reason? What was the reasoning for the denial of the portal in the tunnel?
So Caltrans did not approve of the proposal due to the light installation specifically. So they were concerned about potential safety concerns for pedestrians that would be walking through the tunnel, the maintenance and the upkeep for that particular artwork. But those were their specific feedback.
Commissioner Vidor?
I think I'd like to save some comments since they're more general for commissioners' comments.
Commissioner Kazorian?
So this is talking about the portal. Is there anything like alternative that they want to see, or do they want a mural, like a painted mural, or what's gonna be we can't just leave it like that?
Yeah, that's the great question. The Caltrans does approve painted murals. One of the concerns that we do have with the painted mural is maintenance. And if it were to be vandalized or have graffiti, what would be the cost of maintaining that, and how often we would have to maintain that? So that's a concern that LaBasse Projects has brought up. But we're hoping to find some type of solution. As we all know, we would love to include some public art on this space, but we'll come back with some recommendations.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Aitken?
Is it possible to revisit past, like the past options we had for the Patterson Tunnel?
You mean the other proposals that we received? I think the other proposals were all mainly light installations. So unfortunately, that probably wouldn't be an option. But we can definitely talk with LaBasse Projects, and they can come and recommend some options to the commission for your consideration before we move forward with anything. We would, of course, want the commission's feedback.
Commissioner Vidor, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to, I know pushing back on Caltrans is not something that anybody looks forward to doing, but it seems to me that there are a number of plans for that area. There's a big apartment complex right next to the first part of the tunnel, and then, of course, Fremont Park at the end of the tunnel. So that whole area is ripe for revitalization and visitors, and right now, that tunnel being dark and deserted is actually seems like an attraction for criminal activity, and so their logic about vandalism related to an art project may seem relevant now, but I think in the near future we can make some arguments in favor when things change in that area. Just a comment.
Yeah, absolutely. LaBasse Projects and I visited Fremont Park very recently when it's still under construction, but it's going to be a fantastic addition to the city. So one of the things that we had potentially discussed, but again, we haven't brought it to the commission, is can we paint a mural on the exterior of the entrance to the tunnel as a possible opportunity for public art? But again, these are things we're going to have to investigate before we formally come to the commission with a recommendation.
Thanks.
I just wanted to, I'm curious if it's the light, if any light installation is the problem, or if it's the particular kind of optical illusion effect of this one that we selected. Because there were other proposals where the light was stationary, you know, there wasn't like, maybe, I'm just curious what the exact safety concern was from Caltrans. So that might be just worth a little bit of deeper digging and seeing like if an artist is proposing light, but it is not, doesn't create an optical illusion effect, it's not moving, you know, it's stationary. like maybe is that a possibility? It just might be helpful in illuminating what our options are.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, to Commissioner Atayan's point too, like we can follow up with Caltrans to get more clarification. It was just their initial remarks were that it was a safety and concern an issue. So I can follow up with more thorough feedback.
Or if they have particular standards that they use around the lighting and pedestrian tunnels, and that's something that we could propose to artists to work within. Like that's another question maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else before we move on? Okay, great. Commission staff comments. We'll go in our order. Commissioner Hay, would you like to make this is our time to make any commission and staff comments that are not on the agenda.
No, not this time. Thank you.
Commissioner Kasumian?
I'm just wondering if we are going to start up talking about the Olympic Committee, when would we bring about talking about what we can do?
So we have a list of recommendations from the previous committee that, of course, we can share. We will share, of course. And then we can now we know who's on the committee, we can schedule a meeting with you and Commissioner Vidor to schedule a time to discuss the committee works.
I think it's very important because the Winter Olympics is just around the corner, and this will simultaneously bring us more excitement to the project. And time flies, it sure does.
Yeah, and just to clarify, I think each of these committees, the staff will be creating separate committee meetings for those commissioners to meet with the staff to discuss. And then those recommendations will come back to the commission. Great. Commissioner Vidor, any comments?
Yeah, I've been thinking about the whole thing with, we've had, I think, 2 situations where the first one was with Hahamongna, where the commission was told that the Hahamongna project, which goes at Glen Oaks and Brand, could not be installed. I can't remember who was saying no to that, but then it could. Okay, so in other words, the information was not correct, and it was corrected, and now the project is ongoing. And then the other one, of course, is the Caltrans thing, in which Caltrans became inserted in the project rather late, and it seems, especially you, Jennifer, have spent a lot of time, and it's very laborious for you to determine the jurisdictions of these, the land use issues around this. And it would really be great if we could, and I know this is going to create more work for you and your team, and you're already on a shoestring, but if we could get some kind of process where we can verify and understand jurisdictions for areas we're going to build on right from the get-go, because you received incorrect information a couple times, as far as I know, and I'm sorry about that. It created extra work for you, and we need to make sure we have the complete and accurate cooperation of our partners, Public Works, Planning, whoever's involved. So can we get a program for predetermination of jurisdiction?
I think that's a great comment, and I think we're building the plane as we're trying to fly it. We have a very ambitious commission, which is fantastic, right? And we have a wonderful vision of what we want to see in the city. And so I think it's a learning process, and we're learning to ask the right questions, and I take that upon myself, right? And making sure that we're connecting with the right departments and organizations. So I think it's a continued learning process, but absolutely we can develop more streamlined processes of how we can receive approvals for different areas.
Some others, you can ask, but some others within the city and other departments have to be responsible for making sure you're getting valid information.
Commissioner Kazorian?
I don't have any questions.
Commissioner Atian?
I had a question regarding the Library Arts and Culture. Does the Arts and Culture Commission collaborate with them on children's programs? I had a suggestion.
Yes, we do. We have our Director of Library Arts and Culture here.
So the primary way that the Arts and Culture Commission collaborates with the library side of Glendale Library Arts and Culture is through the Be the Change initiative, which covers ensuring that our diverse communities are seen and represented in our library programming as cultural and art institutions. So if you have ideas, we are welcome to hear them. You can also send them, to our head of children's, Jennifer Driscoll, or send them to me directly, and we can see what our possibilities are.
Okay, so just contact you for any suggestions?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Right. I just wanted to express right now, just being on the Arts and Culture Commission and also being an arts nonprofit leader in a nonprofit located in the city of LA, that arts nonprofits are really struggling right now. And thank you so much, Loretto, for going up to Sacramento and advocating on Arts Advocacy Day. It's really important. My organization had 2 federal grants terminated just in the last couple of weeks. I don't know if there's arts nonprofits in Glendale that are suffering with some of these same funding cuts and terminations. And, our state budget crisis is also very apparent, and I think is also at risk of cutting arts funding. So I just want to put that out there as this is the context that we're in right now, and ask the question of what we as a commission can do to help support our arts ecosystem here in Glendale. I know that we have the grants program that's currently ongoing. I think it should be a high priority to try to get that off the ground. And then I'm wondering if there's opportunities for emergency support, either as part of this grants program in the first year or as a separate program. So that's just a question that I wanted to put out there to maybe agendize in the future, if there's a second, to see how we can, both poll our community and see are people struggling and how, and then see how we could potentially be responsive as a city with some resources to be able to maybe insert some emergency funding. I know for myself, it's a very COVID type situation, but it's very localized here to LA because we have, wildfire impacts, which I think are impacting arts funding, and donors and foundations moving away from funding the arts. There's state and local budget crises, and then there's also the federal termination of grants. So it's it's kind of a big storm for arts organizations right now. So I guess I'm putting that out there and seeing if any of my commissioners want to second that to put it on a future agenda for us to discuss.
And the motion is?
Just to agendize a discussion of potential emergency funding for both data collection and discussion of potential emergency funding for arts organizations that might have had funding cuts or grants terminated.
Do you envision, I think sounds like a fantastic idea.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Vitor, can you go closer to the
Sorry,
microphone? Thank you.
I'm still in vacation mode, I guess. Do you envision this being done under the umbrella of the grants organization, or is this something separate?
I think that would be something I would like to discuss. Yeah, both how to collect data about arts organizations in our city who might be impacted, and then to talk about how we could potentially, either as part of the grant program or as a separate kind of emergency, just having some small emergency grants to sort of help people out. As we did in COVID, it was a similar kind of responsive discussion. I think I don't have any solution right now, but it's just sort of a
Something to talk
request
about.
to kind of gather more information and consider.
I'd second that.
Yes. I will second that too.
Heard that, yeah.
Excellent.
It will be added to the
I
agenda.
think we
All
all
right.
agree.
Fantastic. All right. Is there any other final comments from the staff? City? Okay.
I had a question. I remember reading in the plan earlier something about Datik and Bopik installation on Artsakh Street, but we didn't cover it, or has it already been covered?
Which installation was that?
That was in regard to a request from City Council to include a Tatik and Papik artwork on Artsakh Avenue. That has not been determined yet. Of course, based on Mr. Avazian's update, we're waiting to negotiate bids with the construction company. If and when that does happen, then we can discuss a potential artwork of Tatik and Papik on that street and what that would look like. So we haven't gotten there quite yet.
Right, thank you.
No one designed it yet.
No.
Great. In that case, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.